Daytona Speedweeks, finally here. If you thought the build-up was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. Next 2 weeks, a lot of racing, a lot of action, a lot of pressure on a man called Kevin Harvick. He won in dramatic fashion last year by a nose over Mark Martin. Mark Martin's back, this time with DEI, new crew chief, new crew, Tony Gibson. We'll see how those two guys can do it down the stretch. But the big question right now is the car of tomorrow. And after the Super Bowl, I think NASCAR is going to be crossing its fingers and hoping it can have another repeat finish like it did in 2007. Side by side, photo finish, Harvick by a nose over Mark Martin. Let's see what Kevin has to say about the pressure he's under this week.
Well, I think so. We've been fortunate to win a few of the big races, and I always thought it was, I wanted to win the Brickyard, but I was wrong. Just experiencing everything from the 500 and being able to be a part of the weeks after it, and everywhere you go, that's all everybody wants to talk about is winning the Daytona 500. So that's why this is such a big deal for all the race teams and all the sponsors. I mean, this one race can carry you for a long time. So to come back, and I guess we have the 50th anniversary gold edition, right? Yeah. So it's I think that's what everybody works all winter for, and comes down to try to win. So it's definitely something that you never forget, and just to relive those last few laps. I walked into my wife's office the other day, and she was on YouTube watching the race, so I thought that was pretty cool, just because it still gives you chills every time you watch it.
But then Kevin's not going to be under any kind of pressure compared to Dale Jr.
My question, there's a certain amount of buzz here about Junior and the 88. Are you peeking over there at all? Are you watching? Are you wondering? Is there any sense that if he does well, he's going to lift all boats in terms of ratings and attendance, stuff like that?
Well, I hope for him personally. I hope he does well, and I think everybody in the garage is kind of rooting that direction. I don't think anybody wants to see him not do well. So I think he will do well. I think he made a decision that was, personally right for him, and that's the most important thing. I mean, you guys all know when you go to work in the morning, and if you're not happy, then it's not a fun day, and you're not having fun at your job. So I think just that part of it, just that relief of being able to make the decision that he made, and be able to do things how he wants to do them, is a relief in itself. Obviously, I think that a lot of pressure is probably put on him from a media standpoint to do well, but he's going to do well. I mean, there's no doubt that he's not going to do a good job. I mean, he's got a great organization around him. He's got good people. He's got everything that he needs. And like I said before, the chemistry part is the hardest thing. You can buy all those things, but I think once they get that part figured out, I think they'll be on their way. So I think for him personally, I'm just happy that he's happy. I think that's as much pressure's on him that he doesn't need all the rest of it.
And what about Dale Earnhardt Jr.? Would a good run by Dale Earnhardt Jr. this week and next week make a difference in TV ratings? Kevin ponders that.
I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I mean, I don't think you can add as much drama as they had last year. So I think that got a lot of headlines from a lot of different angles. So I don't know. I don't think it's just our sport that's in a position to worry about TV ratings and sponsorship and things like that. I think the whole world is kind of, or the whole country is in kind of a state of limbo right now. So it's something I think as we get into these elections and get them over with, I think everything will kind of come back, whether Junior does good or not.
How hard is it to make yourself continue to evolve and change instead of sticking with what worked?
Well, I think change is, like I talked earlier, I think change is necessary at certain points, but the less change that you can create, if you feel comfortable with your team and you feel like everybody is knowledgeable enough to do what they need to do, and everybody has a good attitude towards everything, and your sponsors are happy with the I guess the outcome of everything that's going on from all aspects. I don't know. I mean, changes, you have to change with the sport, for sure. I think if you get stuck in that rut, you're going to get behind. I mean, you have to constantly evolve. So I think that's what we always do is we try to evaluate what we're doing, and you always try to find, you have to get faster, you have to get better, you have to get stronger, but sometimes that's not done with your group at the racetrack. It's done internally at the shop, and making sure that the way that the shop function and the people function and the way you put your cars together, the productiveness of the facility and the cars is as important as anything, because it's hard to make all the races week in and week out because you race so much. So you have to have enough stuff to be able to put all that together, but you also have to get ahead at the same time. So luckily that's mostly Richard's job, but I understand it a lot more from an owner's standpoint, owning teams, just because it just takes time.
Mike Mulhern for the Winston-Salem Journal and JournalNow.com.